I'd now like to welcome our next speaker, Mayor Matt Mahoney from the city of Des Moines.
Des Moines is the place you want to be today. We're going to be one of the most exciting places. We're open for business, and I'm going to show you why in a little bit. First of all, a little bit about Des Moines, as you may know, is we have one of the largest coastlines accessible to Puget Sound, with many access points, three in particular: Redondo, Saltwater, and of course our marina. And anybody who's been there knows what a beautiful place it is, and it's a great and terrific advantage. Our town, though, looks still a little bit like 1962. And that's where the opportunity comes and avails itself, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And that's why I say Des Moines is open for business. Sites like this, Des Moines, this is our fishing pier. This is what we see every day. We're undeveloped down there, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but there's great opportunities. We've got some great businesses in our community, and we think there's room for more, and there's room for more residents, and we've got this great opening. So the first thing, last night, in fact, we had a public forum on our new marina development. We're talking an adaptive purpose building, dry stack storage, new restaurants, new shops, a community meeting area, a hotel, additional parking, and opportunities for some other shops down on the waterfront. The truth is, when they built our marina in 1970, they built it for 1970. The marina we're going to build is not for 2022, but 2072. And we're serious about that, and we believe we can control what we can control. So the marina, if we can develop the marina and some other aspects that I'll show you, development, business, residents, and interest is going to come, and it's inevitable. We are ripe for that. So of course, currently we've been under the process of completing our new bulkhead. We've raised it 3 feet to take into account for some of the rising water levels and so forth. And it's going to be a beautiful pathway. It's going to be done at the end of October, early November, and I invite you down there, and you're going to get to see a little bit of glimpse of the future. The other thing about that area is it's common area where people want to gather. Every town needs a gathering point. I was just talking, Mayor Aragon was talking about some of her gathering points. The marina's ours, and so it's a great opportunity. But I'm not going to talk about just the marina, not just yet. One of the things we wanted to do was we added a passenger ferry, and can I see a showing of hands who've heard about our passenger ferry? Okay, pretty much everybody. And I can't tell you, yes, we did a beta test, and it still has a couple more weeks, and if you can actually get a reservation, go for it, because it's incredible. It's a hydrofoil boat. It travels over 30 knots, and it kicks everybody else's butt on the Sound. Brings you into Bell Harbor, great location to visit Seattle and go up to the market and come back. I've rode it a few times, and I can tell you, just the atmosphere and the attitude of everybody riding it has been, just mind-blowingly good. But what it did, not only providing a service for our community, it brought tourism into our community, which is showing us the potential. I was just talking to one of the business owners just a little bit ago. She runs a teacup down there. Her business has increased. In fact, in September, I think in 10 days, you made the month that you had made in previous years. So this just shows you the potential of what we can do with this. And we're looking to expand it and perfect it and so forth. And this beta test is going to help us get it. The other thing it did is, you talk about PR for a city, right? Nothing's more pleasing to a mayor is he's watching the news while he's working, and it's the air traffic helicopter, and they're going, hey, there's the Des Moines ferry kicking butt across the Sound, right? So as a mayor, you're like, yes, we love this. Thank you. And what it's done is really started to generate a lot of development interest in our town. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that here. So a couple things here with our town is we have the business park. It has it created about 4,000 jobs, and this was in partnership with the port. Thank you, Ryan, for all your partnership and so forth. And I gotta say thank you to a couple former mayors who helped really drive this. Former Mayor Dave Kaplan was big on it, and former Mayor Matt Pena as well. But We're going to do this new Des Moines West part, and that's going to add another 600 jobs. Thank you. And then also across the street, we just had a group called Riot Games. So they do League of Legends and all these things. Believe it or not, they have events that are bigger than the Super Bowl. And they have these buildings located strategically. They have one in Ireland, one here, and then they're putting another one in Asia so they can follow the sun. And they do amazing things where their live streaming and gaming is huge. So all of these kind of exciting new things coming to our town. Of course, we got the Kent Des Moines Station, but I also add, we have Angle Lake, thanks to SeaTac. And this one, of course, is right across the border from Highline College. Mr. Gertzman's here, and got to give you guys a shout out for that. It's going to be a great partnership. And then, of course, on Star Lake. So they're not necessarily in our city, but they're all surrounding about us. So it gives that mobility. So we've got ferry mobility. We've got different options. We've got light rail, and of course, we're working on. We've had some bus service that we've added to get you to the light rail from our downtown. And of course, we've been expanding parks. Up in Midway, we bought, thanks to King County, thanks Mr. Up the Grove, Dave, for helping us with some grant money. So we were able to procure property. One of the things did is we have a lot of BIPOC community up there. It's expanded the park, it's improved sight lines, and it's made a great place to play for the kids. I was just up there the other night. They were having a fantastic time. We also we had the Van Gaskin House. And unfortunately, well, it was really kind of fortunately, in our efforts to put a sprinkler system in, we discovered Native American artifacts or indigenous peoples artifacts. So we worked with the tribes and we created Soundview Park. And so we've been opening up space, and this has one of the best views in the city. If you have not been to this park, you need to come. And in that, and we'll talk about a few things here, in that part of it, we added some story stones, and we're adding a form of a pole, a story pole, and stuff like that to recognize their presence in our city and where they and their presence years ago, obviously. But it's a nice thing, and it's been a great partnership with the tribes. All 5 of them worked with us. We have an effective law enforcement. I heard Mayor Aragon talking about it. We took some of the ARPA money, we added a few officers, and we also have co-responders too. We call it GPS. It's called Getting People Services. And so some of our homeless or misfortunate or drug addicted don't typically like to talk to officers. So we have another option, and we have a system to plug them into services. So that's worked really well. Also, we have SR3. I saw Casey around here somewhere, if she'll raise her hand. This is a great organization, and it could be big for us in tourism. We plan to incorporate them in our adaptive purpose building, and I believe we could get thousands of visitors into our community just to see that organization. These are the guys that babysit and take care of baby seals that have been abandoned. Say somebody's at a park and they let their dog loose and it chases the mother off. Well, unfortunately, that seal would be sentenced to death. These guys give them a fighting chance. They go find them, they care for them, they heal them, and they release them back to where they're found. So this is great. And if you've ever gone and taken a tour, you see these baby seals, you melt. As you can see, the park expansion, now that park that I'm talking about, Soundview Park, that's an impromptu yoga session. So these are some great things that are happening in our community. People are enjoying it. One of the things I want to say, and I want to go back, is our city 8-9 years ago, we were almost bankrupt. The council before us made hard decisions. We did furloughs, restructuring, we hired a new city manager, and now we're solvent. We have a reserve, and we have a great credit rating. So a lot of the stuff we're going to do is at less money. And we like to find other people's money, use government to pay for things and not put it on our taxpayers. So really quick, I already talked about those kind of things. We also are going to do improvements in Redondo. We're putting in almost $10 million over the next 3 years in replacing the fishing pier, moving the restrooms, improving the flow and continuity and parking and so forth. So that's going to be great. So we're working across all our town. One thing I'll talk about the light rail is that's going to add quality affordable housing up on the Pack Highway as well. And I'm excited about that too, because it's really going to change that portion of our community. And with that, I ask you and invite you to be part of our great journey forward. I think we've got a lot lot to offer, and Des Moines is open for business, and come on in and do it with us. Thank you.